Wife is greater than kids. Did you know that God performed the first wedding ceremony? At the first wedding ceremony, he said this in Genesis 2:24, and Jesus quoted it in Matthew 19, verses 4 through 6. Have you not read that he who created them from the beginning made them male and female, and said, for this reason a man shall leave his father and mother and be joined to his wife, and the two shall become one flesh. So they are no longer two, but one flesh. What therefore God has joined together, let no man, I'm going to put, or child in parentheses, separate, okay? So I added this child part because by God's standard of measurement, no human should ever take priority over the husband-wife relationship. No human should be more important than my wife, especially if she is not your first wife. So you guys who are on second and third and fourth marriages, no guilt, no shame, but there's a reason why you are. And I propose that for some of you, the reason may be that your wife is not more important than your kids. I got to tell you a story. I was down in Northern California a couple years ago, and I was working with a group of 4 guys with a mega church. This church is about 10,000 strong, and these 4 guys were going to launch this Men in the Arena team. And I went to go to the bathroom. When I came out, I heard the most outspoken of the group saying this: I just told her that if she didn't like it, she could leave. And I was like, what? I walked in, I said, what are you talking about? He goes, oh, well, several of us have been married before and have kids from our first wife, and I just tell my wife now, I told her, my kids are more important than you or anything else, and if you don't like it, you can leave. And I said, bro, you're a Christian. That's not the right statement to say. Your wife is more important than your kids every time. They had never thought of this before. They had never understood what the Bible said before about marriage. And once I said this, their eyes were open. They had fried egg eyes because I just called them out. This is not true. Your kids are never more important than your wife, which is the dilemma of divorce. It's the dilemma of second, third, and fourth marriages, because guys will say, my kids are more important. I'm sorry, bro. If your kid will be more important than your wife, let me give you a suggestion. Don't get married, because you're going to get divorced, or you're going to have a marriage that is not the best version of what God has for Christian marriage. When I told those guys that, crickets. But I'll tell you what, is that the exception or the rule? Is wife greater than kids? Is that the exception or the rule? Biblically, it's the rule. And I thought, well, I think in our society, this is the exception more than the rule. And in the church, it's the exception more than the rule. You know, the divorce rates in the church are just as high as out of the church. And I think this is a huge part of it. We put our kids at the center of the family relationship when the marriage should be. Everything centered around Jesus, everything revolving around Jesus, the couple first, and then the kids. Couple first, wife first. Wife is greater than kids.